Hey there, and welcome to One Email, Two Takes. I'm Will Allred, and this is the weekly Sales Hackers show where myself and my co-host Christina Finseth break down emails that were either sent to us or sent to us asking for feedback for the show. And so this week I have an email that was actually sent to me for the purpose of trying to sell to me. I believe. That said, this email made pretty much every mistake in the book. And so we're going to have some fun and talk about it and tear it down some. You might notice I'm running solo this week. Poor Christina, she lost her voice this morning. And so she shot me a note. And I was like, okay, no worries. I'll, instead of having two takes, two perspectives being, one from me and one from her, I've decided to also add a follow-on email. So I'll show you as well how I would follow up to my rewrite of this particular email. So let's get right into it. I'm gonna share my screen. Okay, so what you'll see here is I've got what I describe as every mistake in the book. So subject starts with will can connect to discuss partnership opportunities, ? Things about this, I'll come back to the subject line. Hi, Will, greetings. I came across your LinkedIn profile. Liked how passionate you've been with work, and it's great to see you leading your company to newer heights. I am from the company name, a 350 plus member certified partner with multiple global IT vendors, PGA, I don't know how to pronounce that company name, Microsoft, Oracle, Tosca, Google. We have centers of excellence in cloud, custom software development, DevOps. It keeps going on and on. We would be happy to be a seamless extension of your team. I'm sure you would. Can I schedule a quick call today or tomorrow to explain more about it? Eagerly looking forward to hearing from you. Now, if you know me, you know I hate everything about this email. Now, let's talk about everything that's wrong and why it's wrong. So let's start at the subject line. There's some very clear missed opportunities here. One, the use of a first name token. There's tons of data out there that suggests that using this first name will drive your open rates. Well, guess what? SalesLoft actually did some analyses across all of the cadences going through their system. What they found is when people used a first name in the subject line, they got 20% less replies. That's right. 1 in 5 of your prospects didn't respond. So probably not something you'd want to include, right? Now, the subject line itself is very long. It does not need to be that long. And then additionally, the question mark is actually a data point that we have backing up at Lavender. So if you don't know, I'm one of the co-founders at a sales enablement company called Lavender. We help sellers write better emails faster. So we partner with, like great teams like Outreach to help folks, send emails, but we're helping them with the writing of the email. So we see a lot of emails. We see a lot of data points around this. And question marks, particularly within subject lines, tend to reduce the chance of you getting an open by about 56%. So not only is this too long of a subject line, the optimal length is about 2 words. It's got a first name, which is crushing your response rate. And it's got a question mark, which is hurting its chance of getting an open. So already off to a bad start, right? Now, it jumps in and it fakes personalization. So, hi, Will, greetings. I don't have a problem with that, by the way. I came across your LinkedIn profile. Did you really? I liked how passionate you've been with work, very not specific. And it's great to see you leading your company to newer heights. Yeah, I bet. All of that screams sent out of a template, like just spam cannon to the moon, right? So bad start to the relationship. Then here comes this behemoth of a paragraph that we have to break down, because the thing we have to recognize when it comes to how people engage with our writing, right? When people read an email, they're not reading to take down every detail. They're reading. When you throw these monster company names that were poorly targeted to a company like ours, or you go across, cloud, custom software, DevOps, Pega, SaaS, AI, data warehouse, hitting you with every single buzzword you possibly know, that's a nightmare for driving responses. Because all I'm seeing is just a bunch of words, bunch of buzz, actually capturing anything concrete. So, happy to be an extension. You did capability, but that's not the way to phrase out. You don't need to give them the laundry list of everything that you do. The other piece here is we would like to be, or we would be happy not adding any value to the email itself. Can I schedule a quick call to you today or tomorrow? We all know, hopefully at this point, asking for the call to get that meeting booked in the first note is. So if you're thinking about how I'm going to put together this rewrite, every piece of this thing has to be re-engaged, rewritten, and changed. And so I had to go look up what the company does and configure right now. Hold on, my computer's back to that. So let me put it on the charger real quick. A very good recording if it just stopped back through. You wouldn't get the actual. Okay. So thank you and best regard, the sales rep. We know that what the sales does is not good, right? Every way possible. And so let's go through and let's fix it. Whew. Okay. So I went through and I looked at what the company does, and it's an outsourcing firm out of India. And it looked like a pretty good one, actually. The problem is their sales team is sending muddied garbage that nobody can quite understand. So I look at the subject line and I'm thinking to myself, let's try to play on the ego, but also just lean into a very clear value prop. So I just gave some data points around punctuation within opens. I've completely gone against that. And there's a very strong intention of why I've done that. So I used lavender size. Are you outsourcing? If I was going to A/B test this, right? Say I'm using a sequencing tool, I would A/B test it by moving that out versus keeping it in. But I want the key theme of the email to be, are you outsourcing? I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to seek information as opposed to seeking an outcome within this email. And so with that, I write, hey, Will, I came across lavender from our work helping teams in healthcare and insurance with sales automation. Yes, I did my research. I went to their case studies page to figure out that they've actually helped, folks in healthcare, insurance with sales automation. Seems like a reasonable reason that they would come across our company, right? Can't lie, I was a bit surprised. Given the quality of your extension, I thought your team would be much larger. We have a small team. We hear this all the time, which is, how is that possible, right? There must be some sort of bottleneck. Is the team outsourcing some of that today? If not, we can help offload some projects that might be bottlenecking, or that might bottleneck your progress. That might bottleneck your progress. So what I've done here is I've made this a personal email. That's first and foremost. A personalized email is going to get 2 times the amount of response. So of course I have to rewrite this. Now I went against some best practices in my rewrite by doing this, but I would obviously A/B test it with some best practices to make sure that I wasn't going against the grain too hard. Now, hey, Will, I came across lavender from our work helping teams in healthcare, insurance, with sales automation. What I'm doing there is I'm bringing up an observation that makes it clear, like that I'm actually writing this person an email. And so what that does is you think about how we're going to drive the open and how I went against the grain here. Well, I still see in the preview text that it feels pretty much one-to-one. And so there's a high likelihood that I would still open it, just noting that that preview text would give me a good signal. If you're wondering what that might look like, well, I can tell you, it looks like this. This is usually your first approach with an email. And so I would see like a piece of the subject line, and then I would see this, initial start to the conversation that I would want to dig into. So given the quality of extension, now you're playing on my ego, thought your team would be larger. And then now you're having a very logical conversation with me, right? It's like, thought your team would be larger. Is the team outsourcing some of that work? If not, we can help. So now I'm clearly offering up what we do, giving context for why I'm reaching out in the first place. And let's say they don't respond to that. So what's the follow-up look like? So I use, hey, Will, given your team size, so I reuse the original personalization from that first email. I I'd be surprised to hear you hadn't considered outsourcing. Maybe I'd use like outsourcing dev. Did you have any feedback on my note below? Now, there's probably some sort of response they're going to get out of me, whether it's, hey, we're not actually considering any outsourced work today, but at least it would be targeted enough that I would feel a responsibility to respond, right? They would hit on that reciprocity. So 2 emails there off of one email that probably just needs to go into a dumpster. I'm a bit surprised it didn't end up in my spam folder. So that is the email this week. If you like this, be sure to subscribe either to Sales Hackers newsletter, where this goes out weekly, to the Sales Hacker YouTube page, where this will be posted immediately. And yeah, you can always find it on the video section within the Sales Hacker website. But until next week, hopefully Christina gets her voice back and we can have her back on tearing up some emails with me. But appreciate y'all stopping in.